If you have conversations, please take them out to the foyer or out in front of the building so that he can film and we can hear what's going on in the meeting. Faculty representatives, visitors are reminded that we are recording the business portions of the meeting. And the mics are sensitive and they pick up everything. And sometimes you don't have to pick it up. At least I don't. Oh, 2 minutes. I'm going to make one brief announcement. I've got an email from Elizabeth Brown in Charles County. Hi Ken, there's a commissioner debate tonight at 7 p.m. at the J.C. Hall between our Democratic candidate Ken Robinson and Charles Lawler, the Republican candidate from District 1. I'd appreciate your informing any Charles residents to feel free to stop by. We'll be wearing our Teachers Do Their Homework shirts, so if you live down that way and want to put a union presence in the hall, they would appreciate it in Charles County. We're at a 2-minute warning. On my cell phone, it's 4:46. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It would be appropriate for someone to be at a mic and move adoption of the agenda with flexibility.
President Haynes.
Aye.
Dr. Joseph Ware, Board of Directors. I move adoption of the agenda with flexibility.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Tawana Lane, Board of Directors, second.
Thank you so much. All in favor of adopting the agenda as printed, raise your voting cards. Thank you. All opposed? We've adopted the agenda. And one more to go. Approval of the minutes. Yes.
Amy Pope, I move approval of the minutes for September 22nd.
And stay there when we're done this for a second.
Blair Todd, Board of Directors, second.
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes, say, raise your voting cards. Thank you. All opposed? We have approved the minutes. Thank you. Did you want to do your activity for a little bit? No?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, Linda Phillips, how many of us know who Linda Phillips is?
Usually sitting right here.
She is on a leave of absence, and I don't know what more to say. It's health related, and we would like to, we're going to take a contribution, financial contribution up today to send an array of flowers or an assortment of such, that we would share with you what it is after we select it. But for interested parties, government relations is kind of kicking this off, and we just want to open it up to every individual in Rep Council. If you'd like to give to this, I'm going to actually have an envelope in the back, and I'll take your monetary contributions, and we'll share out what it is that we've selected to send to her.
couple little things that we're doing a little bit differently today. During the committee reports, GR is going to go last, and we're going to do some phone banking right here in the room and through Rep Council, and giving everybody sheets, and you make 5 phone calls to people and tell them to get their rear ends to the pole and bring a friend. Not quite in those terms, but we're going to do a little phone banking here for about 10-12 minutes, make 5 calls to try and get that touch up to people. We're trying to touch as many people as we can between now and Election Day. I have a special guest today. Yay! Senator Benson, would you like to come on down and say your piece on the elections coming up? Come on.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a wonderful afternoon. I have to tell you all, I had to laugh when I came to that door. You know, for those of you who don't know, I am an educator by profession. I served in the Prince George's County Public Schools for 40 years. Started out in 1962. And the first thing that I did was to become a faculty rep, because I was in a school where I felt that I wasn't going to be getting along too well with the principal. And I said, well, I better go and join the Teachers Association so that when they decide that they want to fire me, I want to have at least a bargaining agent that knows me and knows my face. And so I became very involved in the Teachers Association. Served as a faculty rep here, helped negotiate four contracts. I can recall a time that when we were negotiating contracts, I'm telling you all, it was something. You hear me? It was something. I can remember staying up all night long negotiating contracts for teachers. It was really something. I can also remember one day we were here and Wayne Curry's father, listen, you all are lovely. I really want to thank you all for being so wonderful, professional, coming in, sitting down. Well, during that time, we didn't have people that really understood the importance of sitting down and being quiet. And so Wayne Curry's father, who was a member of the Teachers Association, got up to make a point. And people were not listening. They were walking around. Wayne Curry's father was sitting over, well, he was standing over to my right, and he kept saying, would you please be quiet? And no one heard what he said. Wayne Curry's father took his coat off, put it on a chair, folded a chair, and threw it across the room. We had a time in this room, you all. I mean, we really had a time in this room. So I'm really glad to be here this afternoon. I also want you to know that, yes, I am a senator from Prince George's County. I'm the only woman senator from Prince George's County serving with 7 men. 7 married men, and I am a single woman. I want each of you in this room to know that I did not come to this point without the help of the United Teaching Profession. I got my training through this organization. They sent us to different places in the country to get trained for running for an elected position. And I really owe a lot of gratitude to the United Teaching Profession. Thank you very much. One of the reasons why I decided to go to Annapolis was because of you, because of educators, because of the children. And this organization said, listen, we support you. We're going to help you to become a member of the House of Delegates. In 1991, I ran. People did not think I could win, but with the help of about 65 educators and $5,000, I became a member of the House of Delegates, where I served for 20 years. And now this is my second term in the Senate. The question becomes, why am I here? Why am I here? I want each of you to hear what I'm going to tell you this afternoon. In 1978, a gentleman by the name of Larry Hogan Sr. became the county executive for Prince George's County. Ladies and gentlemen, he gave the educators help. Do you all hear? He gave us help. We did not have a moment's peace with Mr. Larry Hogan Sr. Now listen, you all are wondering why MSEA is sending out literature. They are adamant about Anthony Brown becoming the governor because the alternative is not pro-educators. I'm telling you all what I know. Now I want you also to know that I am retired. I'm in the old retirement system. I'm looking good. I wait at the end of every month for a paycheck that looks pretty good. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything, but I care about the educators. This gentleman, I don't know whether you want to call him a gentleman. That's the wrong terminology. I can't think of a nice word to say. But here's what I want you to know. That during his tenure, this organization had to negotiate a contract for its educators. Mr. Larry Hogan, the county executive, refused to talk to this organization about the teacher's contract. He was so terrible that we had to shut the school system down, and over 10,000 educators ended up at the Bowie racetrack. Is there anybody in this room who can remember that? Remember that? Remember that? We closed the school system down. The educators said, we ain't going to work. And it was the faculty reps that went back to the school and organized their teachers and said, we, and the principals, and said, we are not going to go to work. And we went to the Bowie racetrack and scared everybody in Prince George's County, including the Chamber of Commerce. Everybody stopped dead in their tracks because they thought that educators did not have the nerve, the audacity to close the school system down, and we did that. Guess what? They understood the need to negotiate the contract. We had to literally go to Upper Marlboro and lay in the streets of Main Street. Y'all remember that? We stopped the traffic. Some of the people in this organization were arrested. We made a decision as educators that there was not going to be a day longer for our contract not to be negotiated. When we had the hearings, Mr. Hogan said, listen, I'm willing to hear you, but only 2 people can come in to the hearing. And see, so we went in 2 at a time. I had a terrible cold. I shouldn't have been down there. I had an awful cold. But I was hoping that I could get close enough to Mr. Hogan to just at least make one little call. They wouldn't even let me near the man. So I went back home with my cold. Now, I don't know if I can catch my cold. He was an exception. and educators, when you make a decision, when you agree to this apple ballot, you just cannot agree. You can't talk about it. We didn't talk about it. We didn't have an apple ballot. We came in here, we made a decision that we were going to cover every poll in Prince George's County, and we did. Because we had an agenda. Because Mr. Hogan decided that he wanted to run for Congress. Because he saw he could not run again for county executive, because the educators said, you are not going to wait if you run. So he decided to run for Congress, and we zonked him. We zonked him, and the county executive that followed him was Paris Nelson Glendenning. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is no time for us to play around with this thing. It is going to have a severe impact on Prince George's County in particular. Mr. Hogan, when he became upset with the educators in Prince George's County and knew that there was nothing else he could do because we were standing in his way, he packed up his family and moved to Frederick County and left us here. And that was a good thing, because we were saying goodbye, I'll say goodbye-bye. We will see you later, alligator. Don't come back. Thank you. Now, let me tell you real quick, because I know you all have things to do. First of all, when MSEA sent out a questionnaire, they sent out questionnaires to all of those who are interested in running for a position. Mr. Hogan said, I don't have to answer that. I don't want to hear from the educators. I don't have anything to say. So he refused to fill out the questionnaire. Now, what does that tell you about how he feels about educators in our point of view? He's talking about cutting $450 million in school construction. Do you know the devastating impact it's going to have on Prince George's County? Listen, I taught in a temporary for 2 years. And the reason why I didn't teach longer is because we came here to PGCEA and we put in the contract, a teacher cannot teach longer than 2 years in a temporary. Y'all still have that? Yeah. I hope you do. And that was specifically for me because my principal didn't like me. I wasn't praised by her either. Now, if you take $450 million from school construction, that's going to have a profound impact on Prince George's County. That will lead to more temporaries for those of you who have taught in a temporary or worked in a temporary. And particularly, if you've been there, if it rains. You all been there since, look, when it rained, I had to sit down. And I could teach an old dog new tricks, but I couldn't do it with the heavy rain. The other, and not only that, we don't want to talk about safety when it comes to temporary. The story goes on and on because we didn't even have an income system. And it brings to a screeching halt the building of schools that we need in Prince George's County, particularly inside the Beltway. We are fighting hard. I'm going to tell you right up front, we're fighting hard for our new Suitland High School. Annabelle Ferguson, I love Dr. Ferguson. She's a great lady. But we can't have our students training for performing arts in Annabelle Ferguson Auditorium. I went to an affair where the Harlem Dancers, who travel all over the world, performed at the Kennedy Center. And two of the top performers are from Suitland High School. We can't have it. We need modern facilities for our children, but almost and equally as important, we need it for our teachers. Yes, we do. Prince George's County Hospital is important to all of us in this room. We need a brand new hospital. The county, Mr. Hogan is saying, we don't think that that's going to be on the agenda. We need a new hospital. There'll be no. He opposes kindergarten for all children. That's crazy. The start determines the ending, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't start right with the children, you can't end right. What'd you say? I mean pre-K. Yeah, pre-K. Kindergarten hard fight too. Because guess what? Prior to us enacting legislation and the fight with this organization, parents had to pay for kindergarten for their children. But we passed some legislation with the help of PGCEA that all children would have access to kindergarten. Pre-kindergarten. Thank you for correcting me on that. Eliminating the Department of Education? Come on, y'all. He is saying that the Department of Education is a waste. Now look, I'm not telling y'all something somebody told me. Read it in the paper. Ask MSEA. The facts speak for themselves. What I'm saying to you this afternoon are not things that I pulled out of a hat. No, no. Do you know what that does to Pell Grants? Do you know what that does to the college for our children who want to go to college? Some of our children cannot afford to go to college. They need the Pell Grant. Do you know what that means? He also supports school vouchers. Do you know what that means? Huh? More money goes to the private schools, encouraging children to go to private school because he doesn't like you all. He doesn't like public school educators. His budget proposal would result in massive cuts in school funding, layoffs, increased class sizes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can only tell you, I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, and I'm saying to you that if you care about this profession, if you understand the importance of budgets, because if you do not support Anthony Brown for the governorship, look forward to problems with your budget, and it's going to impact your salaries. It's going to impact your pension, what little you have, because we here were in opposition to going from the old retirement system to the pension system. Those of us here at PGCA were in adamant opposition. So I want you to know that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a choice. We have a choice. We can sit at home. We don't have to go out to vote. But on November the 5th, the chickens will come home to roost. We do not have time as educators for any foolishness. Every day of my life, I am at Anthony Brown's office with my people making phone calls. As a matter of fact, they'll be there at 6 o'clock. We have got to be serious about this agenda. As a matter of fact, when Mr. Hogan decided to run for Congress, you couldn't get in this building for the people, for the educators. We have got to go back to the schools and talk to our educators in the schoolhouse to let them know the urgency of them supporting Anthony Brown for governor. If not, educators, you are sinking sand. And I'm not telling you what somebody told me. I'm telling you what I know. I've been in Annapolis for over 20 years, and like I said, I started out with this organization in 1962, and I'm telling you, I know what's going to happen if we don't get out. Do you know what a black eye that's going to be for us as educators? With him saying, MSEA, you're not going to win this one. And we're saying, go fly a kite, we will be winning. It's going to be up to us here in Prince George's County to work hard to ensure that we are successful in choosing the person who is pro-education. People are talking about taxes. Taxes? Who pays for the roads? Who pays for school construction? Do you all realize that we can't live on love alone? We've got to have money to support things. We are number one in the United States when it comes to income and education. Now, Prince George's County has a little ways to go. We're very lucky to have an absolutely wonderful superintendent who, by the way, was a faculty rep when he started out as a teacher at Carlson High School. That's how I met him. And the things we did for educators in the Prince George's County Public Schools, I can't even tell you all. We were up late at night, early in the morning. We did things and got things done. And I'm going to ask you all to have a fire in your belly. I want you to sign up to work the polls because we do not have a moment to waste. If we lose this one, trouble. You all don't bother to call the county executive. Don't bother to talk to the superintendent because they're not going to have the money to do what needs to be done for this school system. We are fighting hard right now for school construction money. We want the money to come back to Prince George's County so that you all can have at least a decent, hey, we can't pay you all enough for what you do. I want to thank you as I go to my seat. I want to thank each of you in this room for the work that you do. I've been there, I've done it. I've been in the trenches, I've been a supervisor, I've been a principal. I know what it takes to run a school system. I know what you're up against. I know that there are days in which you are in your classroom and nobody says thank you. And then when you run across a principal that don't get it, it's unbelievable. And I'm sure there are plenty in the Prince George's County Public Schools. I will not say anymore. I want you all to know that you have my unwavering support. When you come to Annapolis, you don't have to worry about where Joanne Benson stands, because my voting record in Prince George, in Annapolis, Maryland, is 100% pro-educated. And I'm not going to wiggle, wobble, and waver from that. If anybody comes to me and talks to me about anything that's detrimental to educators, they get into trouble. I said, don't even bother coming in my office. Get out of here. You hear what I'm saying? And I want you to know that I appreciate every single thing that you're doing. Whatever I can do to help you, I am absolutely no nonsense, no foolishness. I see several of the teachers that were in my school when I was a principal at Bain, and they knew that if anybody did anything to a teacher in John Bain Elementary School, they got in some deep trouble, even the supervisors. I mean, really, we wore the supervisor out. We wore her out so bad until she only visited one time during the last year that I was there. But I had the support of the parents and some great teachers. And we still have some great teachers in Prince George's County. Each of you in this room are great because you give the best that you have for our children. And I want to thank PGCEA for allowing me to come up to use these few minutes to tell you all how important it is for you to get up off your chairs, stop watching I Love Beaver, and Leave It to Lucy, and I Love Lucy. No, that's that goes to tell you how old I am. I Love Lucy and Leave It to Beaver and Red Butt.
$2.3 billion backlog on school construction. Not stuff that we're projecting. Backlog of $2.3 billion. We're putting $300 million in per year in school construction. How long does it take to get to $2.3 billion for the backlog? That's one. Pre-K, we can't afford it, according to Larry Hogan. I call him Son of Hogan. Okay? He did not fall far from that tree. We need 150,000 votes out of Prince George's County to win this thing. 150,000 votes. That's going to take phone calls, taking a friend to the polls, anybody that you know who will vote, get them there. Volunteer at your local, wherever your polling station is, to drive people to the polls. We have got to make it turn out. MSEA update on 2.
Good afternoon, everybody. Blair Todd, PGCEA Board of Directors and MSEA Board of Directors. Just wanted to say, just reflecting back on the convention, and for all of you that were there, did an amazing job representing PGCEA. I think everyone deserves a round of applause that was there participating. I mean, PGCEA was in the house. And we want to continue with that energy. What I have here are member involvement forms as far as the MSEA committees. They have a bylaw rules committee, convention arrangement, membership organized, minority affairs, and so on. And so with these forms, you fill them out, tell them what you're interested in, and when they have openings on the state committees, they'll call you and pull you in. It's a great way to know what's going on in the state, a great way to represent us, to make sure we can bring back information to our county. Also in the back, they're collecting information about our members, because MSD and the government are always looking for members to join certain committees and task force. And of course, there'll be a lot of that once Anthony Brown wins the governorship, right? So they're going to be looking for a lot of teachers to be on committees and so forth. So if your name is in this pile, when the government calls or MSDA calls that we need a teacher that's this way, that way, that understands this, your name will be there. So I'll have these forms, if you're interested, I'll take them with me back to MSDA at the next board meeting, so make sure I get them before you leave. Any questions?
Thank you. Blair, microphone 1.
Robin McNair, Board of Directors. The discipline survey has gone out to all the members today, so make sure you complete this discipline survey. It will be out from now until November 21st. You want to make sure you go back to your buildings and tell your teachers to fill out this discipline survey. That is the only way we can make an impact. We need to find out what's going on in our schools. Also, since the discipline survey is on your email, and many of you are connected to your email on your phone, you can fill out the discipline survey while you're here now. And that way you can help guide your teachers when you go back to the building.
We're going to be running up some minutes here tonight.
Oh, yeah. Also, there has been an email, you know that the discipline committee met to go through the student handbook, and there has been an email sent to student services asking for a meeting to discuss our concerns about the student rights and responsibility handbook. So you will be updated as far as that is concerned. And that's it.
Is that right? Thank you. I dated myself with that one. Go ahead.
Hi, Teresa Dudley, Vice President, and I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine from the Cora Rice Foundation to talk about the Christmas party for children that the Cora Rice Foundation does every year, and how she would like some volunteers to get involved. This is Carol Malwell.
Hello, everybody. I'm honored to be here, and I thank you for this time. I know that your time is valuable and that you're not appreciated enough and you're not paid enough. The second part is I just wanted to relate to you. I was a teacher in the secondary education in the Chicago school system, and I kind of had to leave because I went to a Board of Education meeting downtown and told them the business that they were really in, and it wasn't educating, it was real estate. I got escorted out by 2 guards. I think I was a size 5, that was years ago, and I was told in order to come back to another meeting, I had to submit it in writing. And from that time on, I had to knock on the back door of the school and hope that a student would let me in because the principal didn't want to see me. But anyway, I met this lady here, Joan Bain. That was one of the reasons why she went into politics, because she cares about education. Now, another warrior was Cora Rice. Cora Rice, 25 years ago, started a party for deserving children who would not receive a Christmas. I think this year, this is the 31st year this year. Last year, we went over about 1,200 students. We need volunteers. We know that you will be having your function the night before the party is December 6th. We do the Christmas wrapping the night before at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. The party will be from 9 to 3, December 6th at Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Greenbelt. If any of you can find it in your heart to come and volunteer, you'll be amazed to see how much we need you. This warrior here was there last year, and another person from your association. We thank you very much, and we're Lisa. Yeah, but we thank you very much. We appreciate everything you do, and anything that you can do to help us make this more successful so that we can bring more and more youth in from the county would be greatly appreciated. So thank you. We honor you. We know you're doing a great job, and we appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the ask is for people to come and volunteer on Saturday morning from 9 to 12 and help chaperone the children to go get their pictures taken with Santa Claus, help them do arts and crafts on the tables, help them get their food, and the Prince George's County Police Department and Local 2250 and other different entities are also involved it just doesn't make sense that we're not involved there because we love those children too. We're their teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee reports, if you can be brief, we still have a long agenda to go. Budget, do you want to just go to treasurer's report? Okay. Bylaws?
Bylaws Committee will meet for our last time this year on Wednesday, this Wednesday the 29th. So if you have anything you want to propose this year, you need to be at that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. GR is going to go last. Membership, followed by future teachers, followed by minority affairs.
Good evening, everyone. Great. First, I want to thank all of you who came to the FAC Session 1. We had a wonderful session. The participants gave really good comments. I want to thank PGCEA staff for being there for us. Great presentations.
All of you who attended, stand up, be recognized. All of you in attendance on last Thursday, be recognized.
Yay!
Awesome training, awesome training.
Our next session will be November 15, Session 2. It
Sign
was
up sheets in the
wonderful.
back. Sign sheets in the back. November 15th is a Saturday. Just giving you a heads up so you can actually go home and get some rest. I'm Gemma Thomas Gilbert. I am the new appointed liaison. Where you going, Gemma? No, okay. I'm the new appointed liaison, staff liaison. So we got a lot of good, exciting things happening. And Tawana, do your plug. No, come on, talk. For the 15th, it's about November 15th training.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tawana Lane, Board of Directors. MSCA is paying for the November 15th training for membership.
MSCA,
This is High Point High School presented a grant, so come out on the 15th. Your mileage will be paid from your home to here. It's the way to get your check for the time that you spend from home to PGCA and back, so you don't have to worry about that. There will be food, enjoy, fun, hands-on. It'll be a lot of experience. This is part 2. And it will be a little certification surprise too. Thank you.
The training is for organizing. We are actually going to be doing membership building, membership empowerment, to have you go back and engage your colleagues one-on-one, having the conversations about what's important to them, not only to just allow them to have a gripe session, but also moving that gripe into action. That's really what we're about. We have started that process. On last Thursday, we have some of your colleagues in the room that took the information, took the one-on-one conversation, engaged their members when they went back, and we have 2 of your colleagues who actually did the recruitment and brought membership forms in, and they said a lot of the conversations were really just about them knowing who the union representative was, and that they were glad to be approached, to know who you all were, and that they weren't sure if they were members or not members. And when they realized that they weren't, they immediately signed up. So I just want to encourage you all, if you have not done that, if you need training around just having that engaging conversation, November 15th, we're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to get with each other and just really engage you all about what's important in your school. And we're going to teach you how to have those courageous conversations with your colleagues and move them to action. By show of hands, who's interested in coming on November 15th? By show of hands, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I expect to see at least 19 names on the back of that sheet before you leave out of here. Yes? Y'all got a commitment? Awesome! This is exciting. We have also incentives as well. I won't go into that for the sake of time. We're offering incentives just to reward you for your hard work. And we're just really hoping that by the end of this, we'll have a big celebration. We'll have you telling your stories at each meeting, each month, about what it's been like to engage your members.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Okay, future teachers.
Future teachers, Genevieve Cromer, Skyline, still recruiting members, and we're meeting with membership the second Tuesday of every month at 4:30 here. So please come and give us your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Minority affairs. Is that Annette?
Yes. Annette Jones, co-chair with elementary. It's that time of year again when we have sent out application in regards to our essay and art competition. It's for elementary, middle, and high school students. It should have reached your building by now. I think it was sent out since October 15th. The deadline will be December 15th. There is cash award. So please encourage your students to participate. You can give them as an assignment. It's going to be a wonderful thing. Our guest speaker, a prominent one, Mr. Reggie Weaver, will be our guest speaker. The awards function will be at Kingsford Elementary on January 15th. So I'm hoping with such prominent speaker, and he always has a word for the wise, I hope that when you see that invitation come out, mark it in your diary, write it down somewhere so you get the reminder. We will keep reminding you so that you can come out for Mr. Weaver, and also to allow those people who won the competition. In addition to that, in the works too, we have coming up the next year, you can note the date, March 18th, 4:30 to 6:30. We are hoping to have a fabulous panel discussion, and we will give you more on that, more feedback on that. So that's all for now, and our next Minority Affairs meeting will be November 20th. If you are interested for a group that is dynamic and ready to go, please come and join us on November 20th at 4:30.
Thank you. Before the NECC chair comes up, Linda Shackelford has informed me that there are now 2 vacancies on the NECC. That is the purview of the chair to hold that election. I'll be holding that at the next meeting to fill out the terms of the 2 people who have resigned their positions on the NECC. If you are interested in nominating yourself, email me at hainsk@pgcea.org. Text me, email me. That's my job to hold the election that elects the NECC. They take care of every other election in the House. That one happens to be mine. Report from the NECC?
Yes. Just a reminder that you have until 11:59 October 31st to get your nominations in for this upcoming election. Your bios, pictures, and flyers are also due October 31st. So if you have not already emailed those in or dropped them off here at PGCEA, they are due by October 31st and they will not be accepted after that. I will be sending out an email to those individuals that have submitted their nominations already, explaining just what exactly is needed. And that's it.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks very
short and
much.
sweet.
Short and sweet, love it. PDL, what do you got? Following my Read Across America, we'll go ahead and move to the mic so that we're ready to go. Public relations after that.
Reagan Miller, PDL.
Go.
On November the 6th, we will have a tentative new teacher tea for teachers in their 1st to 3rd year. November 13th, we will have an adult bullying and hostile work environment workshop. Our attorney will be present.
11:13.
11:13. 4:30. Offering valuable information that you can use, because sometimes we know the biggest bully in the school is not the students. More information, dates and times will be forthcoming.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping the report straight. Read Across America.
Jane Hurst, Capitol Heights Elementary School, Chair of Read Across America. We are gearing up now for our Christmas, well, holiday should I say, boxes for the homeless families. We try to provide books, toys for the children who are classified as homeless and are in actual fact living in the shelter. But beside the toys, which people always feel really generous at Christmas about going out and getting 1 or 2 toys for children, these children really need things like cozy mittens and hats and scarves and socks, sweaters, that kind of thing, so you might keep that in mind. We will be here at the meeting taking in any donations you have, but in between now and the next meeting, you can drop them off if you happen to be going by and don't want to keep it in your car for the next couple of weeks. So anytime from tonight onwards, we will accept donations, and I beg you to think about that when you go shopping this weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Public relations. Our new public relations chair.
Yeah, and Bill, no, I don't see Bill. Okay, Bill Hayes, co-chair. But I was just talking to Jamal. The next big thing coming up for PR is going to be American Education Week. And that's November 16th through the 22nd. And I've given Jamal a kind of a little sheet to help get you started on that from the NEA website. And we too are recruiting for members. I hear a lot of good things that are happening, you know, that are worth, I think, publicizing and writing about. So if you're interested in doing that type of writing, then you might want to join the committee. I'm an old journalism major and did media relations way back. It hasn't changed a lot, just the way you do it, not what you do. So, we're the first Thursday of every month.
Okay. Sick leave bank, great beer. Do you have anything?
We'll say approximately about Great Beard. We've received about 20 applications, and they were appropriately filled out, and they were approved.
20 so far this year. Thank you. Social committee, Linda?
Okay, this is the fun part. So Friday night, we had our fall festival, and it was a huge success. I don't know if anyone in here was there, but we had so much fun. So we had a few people who dressed up, and I would like to call up Jackie Walker. Are you here? Yeah, she's here. So she's right here. So her costume was so awesome. I want to give you this $25 gift certificate to Applebee's because your costume was the best costume of the evening. You're welcome. She was in the 70s. She had the big wig and she was awesome. Yes, the tie-dye and so if you missed it, you missed an awesome time. We had games and, but I'm not gonna tell you what they were because we're gonna do those games again. Our next event is the holiday social, and that's scheduled for December 5th. So please make sure you save that date. Be looking for an email to come out about that. So it's Friday, December 5th. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you much. Donna Hayes on Fund for Children Public Education fees.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like for all the reps sitting in the building to give a hand to the delegates that attended the conference. We did a standing job. We got an award for, we sold over 2,326 monies were collected for raffle tickets. We were the highest in the state of Maryland. For the county itself, we sold over 4,000, somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000. Prince George's County Board.
It's 23,000 for the entire state.
So please give yourself a hand. Now, that takes me on to say, I need every building rep in this building to please get a handful of the forms that President Ken is showing, take it back to your building, and we are serious about signing up individuals, members, for payroll deduction. Here's how I do it. You ask for $1, and you tell them that it comes out less than $1. It comes out to 60-something cents.
No, it's not pre-tax dollars.
It's not pre-tax
It's not
dollars?
pre-tax dollars. It's a political contribution, not charity.
Okay, well, it's $1. It's still $1. We waste more than $1. So I would like to see each and every one of you to the next
Rep Council meeting, bring back the forms, and commit to signing up at least 5 to 10 individuals in your building. Thank you.
Thank you. It's safe to say that if you make the ask, what I'm finding is that it's 1 in 4 by just about rule of math. It seems that when I ask 4 people, 1 will sign. So what I've done here is on this side, I've written a memo to all members, just a little wrap of why you need to give to the fund. If you're not comfortable asking, I'm very comfortable asking, as you figured it out. But this side is a letter from me explaining why it's important that they do so. The other side is a form that they need to fill out and sign. Bring them back to the next meeting. We'll put them in a hopper and do a drawing at the next meeting. I really want to get us up to 25% before my presidency is over. 25% is like a landmark figure. There aren't many locals that get to 25%, and I'd like to do that before I leave.
One more thing.
Yes.
I would like for Dr. Ruth Rome from Suitland High School and the members of Suitland High School to please stand. Dr. Rome by herself sold over $300 worth $600 worth of tickets, please. By herself. So I know it's doable.
Friday night festival. I'm on a binge here the last 3 or 4 weeks. I've been working. I haven't had a weekend in about 3 weeks, and I was about to give it up and go home. And I stayed for a little while and made the ask during the festival. And Deidre Daniels, I haven't gotten her school yet off the top of my head. Deidre Daniels made my night. She signed up for $50 a paycheck. And I walked up to her, and she handed me the form, and it was on the bottom of a few. And I walked up and I said, are you sure you understand what you just did here? And she said, yeah. I said, I wrote it $50 per pay. And I said, why? And she spent the last 8 years in 2 right-to-work states, Arizona and Virginia. And she said, your words touched me, and I'm up in my commitment. She's been an employee in Prince George's County for 2 months.
Wow.
I'm trying to get a story done on her in The Educator. It made my day. And so you never know who that person, when you ask, you never know who that person's going to be that's going to say yes. You start with the ones that are always asking you questions about what we're doing. Okay? That's how it starts. I can't get to all 9,000 members. I have figured that out. I have given it my best shot. I'm not going to get to all 9,000 members. But I have an army out here sitting in front of me. I need you to do this. Let's go get people to sign up, because this is where we're going to start making an impression in political circles. When we can start bumping people off, and we have the money to bump somebody off that needs to be bumped. Okay? And to put somebody in office that needs to be in office. Okay, we have we want to do GR now. Do GR now. GR, you the mic?
Yes.
Alrighty, we're going to do some, take out your cell phones. Da-da-da-da.
So, Amity Vote, GR Committee Chair. And before we start, Lachelle, our rep here, Lachelle, in her hand, has the box that's going around. Inside are the monetary contributions that you can drop in for Linda. So, as you see that box go around, please do so. So, we have 4 days left. 4 days left. 4 days left for early voting. How many people have already voted? Raise your hand, be proud. Awesome. So, voting is open. The polls open 7 a.m. They close at 8 p.m. right after today. 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The closest poll here is Suitland, and that's right nearby on the back table. If you picked up one of these, you'll see a very tight race with District 2 and Peggy Higgins, and on the back are our early voting places. So if you want to go and do that right after Rep Council, please go and do so. Thank you, cheerleader. If you take a look back there where Raya and Robin and our government relations cheerleaders are, you'll see a hashtag, PGCEA votes. For everyone who is already signed up to poll for early election or the day of election, we would like for you to take a selfie, and however you like to do that there, and put that hashtag. hashtag PGCEA vote. There are labels out in the front table, and I'm gonna turn it over to my political organizer, Kalia.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right. Some of you have had the pleasure to work with over the last couple of weeks. A lot of you came out for the Obama rally. Just letting everybody know that we're signing up volunteers tonight. Hopefully everybody will make at least one phone call. The UNICEF directors are going around with sheets that they have, if you already haven't gotten one, to make your calls tonight. But Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton is going to be at College Park on Thursday at 2:30. So if you want to sign up for that as well, we're more than happy to talk to you in the back. We also have sign-ups on Election Day that you can sign up as you're exiting on the wall. We have polling locations for Peggy Higgins, Amber Waller, Carolyn Boston, and Sonia Williams that we need to make sure we have covered. But if you have one of the phone banking sheets, we're going to do this right now.
Board members don't have phone banking sheets up here.
We'll get some more out of the back on my desk. Okay, perfect. Take out your phones. Everybody on your sheet, you have a script. And about 5 to 7 members that live in School Board District 2. This is very important for Peggy Higgins. We're going to do everything that we possibly can to make sure that she stays on the board. So we're asking you tonight just to call those members. And if you do, there are raffle tickets going around because we have 5 grab bags with fun PGCEA items that you can take after you make your 5 phone calls. So we'll be right in the back taking your phone call sheets whenever you're done. While you're making your calls, just watch the volume with your neighbors next to you. All right, if you don't have a sheet, raise your hand and we'll come bring it over to you. Yes.
Do they have a script?
Yes, script is on the sheets as well. If you need more calls.
We're gonna do this little activity, we're gonna break it in 12 minutes, right?
Yes, 12 minutes.
12 minutes. We have no unfinished or old business. Don't make me break out my gavel. I try to stay away from the gavel. It's all right. We do have new business before us. Shh. We still have a couple people finishing up their last phone calls. Vote for Peggy. Any help that the rest of you can give us in these last days, coming in and doing some phone banking for Peggy Higgins? She has been our friend at the board. And it's really not just that the forces that be are out to get her in such a vigorous way. And the only way we're going to win this is by the human contact mode. Sometimes it takes 2, 3, and 4 times for people to even remember that election day is at hand. I've already had 2 people say, "Oh, is it early elections?" Freaks me out. Okay. We have before us this evening proposed amendment to the PGCEA bylaws. I think, Charles, you're on the sideline. Got you.
I'll do the best I can with my committee up here.
With the whole committee?
No, but I seem to have one at the moment.
Okay.
If you'll look at your NDIs.
You have your NDIs. They have yellow highlighted on them.
I'll be dealing with the very first one.
It's a long one.
This is proposed by the Bylaws Committee and seconded by the Board of Directors, that the PGCEA Representative Council approves and endorses the following proposed amendments highlighted in yellow to PGCEA Bylaws, Articles 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9 for placement on the ballot in the spring of 2015. I will not read this in its entirety, but I will read to you the 2 paragraphs that are highlighted in yellow. The addition to the membership section of the bylaws would create active membership status and inactive membership status. And I read, A, active members or members of the PGCEA bargaining unit, Unit 1, performing the assigned duties of the position for which they are employed or assigned on a regular contract. And B, subsequent to March 2015, members who find themselves unable for a period exceeding 10 months to perform the assigned duties of the position for which they are employed or assigned on a regular contract shall be designated as inactive members. You will notice that highlighted in different portions would mean that you must be an active member to qualify to run as an officer or a member of the board of directors. On the second page, to be the chair of the standing committees, or to be elected a member of the Nominations, Elections, and Credentials Commission. Shall I give the rationale, Mr. Chair?
Please do. Well, make the motion first. You've made the motion.
It's been seconded.
And it's been seconded. Speak to the motion.
Robert's Rules of Order recommends that organizations formally identify the various categories of membership within the organization. It further acknowledges that certain classes of membership may have rights that are denied to others. The intent of this amendment is to define active and inactive membership and place certain restrictions on the inactive category. These new provisions would apply to all leadership positions acquired in 2016 and beyond. This was amended by the Board of Directors to define inactivity at 10 months rather than 6 months as it was originally proposed.
Anyone speaking for or against the debate on to put this on the ballot in the spring for voting by the general membership? Is there any debate? I see no one rising to a mic. I'm going to take with no one rising to a mic, all in favor of upholding the opinion of the board to put this on the ballot in the spring. Raise your voting cards. Thank you. All opposed? Thank you very much. Okay, that was easy. Amity Pope.
Amity Pope, Government Relations Chair.
Yes, go.
Move new business item B, endorsement of Todd Turner for County Council.
You have a second?
Rena Sharon, Board of Directors, second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that PGCEA endorse Todd Turner for County Council. Speak to your motion.
So the Board of Directors have favorably considered Todd Turner for the endorsement of County Council. And I just want to share with you why he's recommended as a strong candidate. He has a proven track record. How many people are at Northview or know teachers or colleagues at Northview? It's because of Todd Turner that Northview came into existence in 2007. He fought for 30 years to have that school come to fruition, and the trafficking, the way the sidewalks are set up for students, it's because of him and his advocacy for children and the safety of children that that's come to fruition. Not only that, Todd Turner is responsible for many lights on the field for our Boys and Girls Club in Bowie, in the city of Bowie, and he just really cares about the average person. So, aside from the fact his daughters are Prince George's County, raised, they've been through the trenches and had us as teachers, not us personally, but he is a regular guy and he's for the average person. So I ask for your endorsement, Todd Turner of County Council.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Speaking for or against? You're on the next motion already? Okay. Seeing no one rising to the mic, all in favor of passing our endorsement on Todd Turner for the general election, raise your voting cards. Thank you. All opposed? Shall the record reflect that it was unanimous? Okay. Jamal, you got it? You can let him know where he's endorsed.
I will.
Okay. Microphone 2.
Yvonne Basich, Board of Directors, Kingsford Elementary School, and I move that PGCEA endorse Teresa Dudley for NEA Director. And I have a second.
Marilyn Thomas, Board of Directors, and I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Speak to your motion.
For those of you who don't know Teresa, not enough can be said as to her complete support, enthusiasm, intelligence, and workaholic ways when it comes to our union. And nobody can stand up for us the way that Teresa can. And we need somebody on the MSEA board and the NEA board, although I should say especially the MSEA board, who will stand up for Prince George's County. We need to have another person. We have Blair, but he is lonely. And he needs to have another person that he can look over to who will say, it's all right, brother. It's okay. We're in this together. But if you've been around here for more than 5 minutes, you know how Teresa fights for us. And we can have no better voice. Thank you.
Any debate? Without a color.
Norman White, Board of Directors.
For or against? Point of information?
Point of information.
Okay. What's your question?
Basically, I recently found out that there's another person running for that spot in Georges County. And I'd like to make a motion that we don't endorse anyone. And that's how I feel.
Well, you got up on a point of information. You have a question to ask. You can't make a motion.
Okay. Do we normally let 2 people run for one position, like NEA Board of Directors?
Okay.
Is that possible?
We can endorse as many people as we want.
Okay. Then I'd like to make a motion, if possible.
If you can make there is a motion on the floor.
So I'd like to amend the motion.
You would have to make either a substitute motion, and you would have to have a blue card in your hand.
I have a blue card in my hand.
Okay.
I'd like to make a substitute motion.
Okay, you'd like to make a substitute motion.
That we don't support anyone. Only because we do have 2 members who are running, and I don't want to be.
Well, you would be better off speaking against the motion at that point then. Against the motion to endorse. So, put your blue card down. Pick up a red card. And you have what? You can't tell me what it is. Is that a point of information? You have a point of information, ask a question.
Robert McNair, Board of Directors. I guess my question is, is the deadline up for the nominations? That's my question.
No.
Okay, so when is the deadline?
November 21st.
Oh, okay. So everybody's nominations haven't been put in yet.
Some people declare late, some people don't.
Okay.
So, Norman, you would like to speak against the motion to endorse Teresa Dudley?
Well, I don't know that. Okay, so this is one of those touchy-feely things because I like Teresa, right? I like the other person on it, and I don't want to. It's the other. Do I say who the other person is? Okay, so I just found out that Rowena Sherman is also running.
Okay.
Rowena Sherman. So she's a board member. In case you don't know her, she's the lady in the black. And
wrote a song about it.
Yeah, right. Here it goes. So, and that's my. I don't know how to put it. I don't want to make it. I don't want to speak against Teresa.
You're against. You want to speak against the motion to endorse it this time.
Okay, I want to speak against the motion to endorse it this time.
Okay.
So I nominate this way.
Is there any further debate?
Right here.
Microphone 1, 2, sorry.
I don't know, yes, okay. Okay, so, as usual, Prince George's County is about to shoot itself in both feet. Please, don't make this mistake. If we run 2 people, nobody will win, and the third person who's running from Anne Arundel County will, as sure as I'm standing here, win that election. So if we want to divide up our vote and our power, we can endorse both people and then lose. That's for sure, folks. And if we're smart, like I hope we are, we will run one person and win.
Microphone 2, a point of information. Great card.
Am I correct in saying that, is there only one position available for the NEA?
That is correct.
Okay.
One position. I see a green card on 2.
Marilyn Thomas, Board of Directors, speaking in support of the motion.
To endorse.
Pardon?
The motion to endorse.
The motion to endorse Teresa Dudley. I think we both care for both of them, and we do recognize their contributions. However, I am speaking in support of Teresa Dudley. I feel she has demonstrated her skills and talents in this area to represent us on the state level, and I know that she will do a dynamic job on the NEA level. I ditto what Yvonne has said about splitting the vote. It's important that we all stand together and united, because just like she said, if we vote for 2 candidates, that vote is going to be split, and someone else from another county is going to get in. So I suggest that we endorse one candidate. The motion is to endorse Teresa. I fully support her, and I do want us to back her for this position. Prince George's County needs a voice. She has this experience, the expertise, the dedication, motivation, the dynamics, and all she needs to do a successful job for us.
Point of information on microphone 1.
Is it possible to hear from both candidates so that we can make a fair judgment on which one we should vote for? Is that possible?
It's not speech time. Not our speech is coming in January before the February balloting. Microphone 2, green card. I don't. I've had 4s give me an against on microphone 1. Point of information.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. Are we still on the motion to endorse, or did he provide a substitute motion? I just want to
No, he spoke against the motion to endorse. Speaking against the motion to endorse on microphone 1.
Genevieve Clements, Tulip Grove Elementary School. I've been sitting here endorsing candidates for a while and sometimes wondering whether I'm doing the right thing because we don't have enough information. In this case, where we have 2 candidates, both from PGCEA, when we're pretty much, I think, in agreement that we should only be running 1, I think before we endorse any candidate, we should have a chance to hear from both of them and to get the information needed. And so at this time, I'm saying that we should postpone or vote against the motion right now to support Teresa until a later date when we can hear from both people. Thank you.
Which would be January. Okay. Microphone 2, speaking for the motion to endorse. No, that's the third one, right?
Michelle Clark from William Hague Elementary. I'm speaking in favor of Teresa for a number of reasons, including the fact that splitting the vote in Prince George's County is not going to be a good idea. But also, Teresa has experience on the MSEA Board of Directors. She's been there for quite some time, and I believe she has the name recognition statewide, not just in PGCEA, to have a chance at winning this position. Not that I have anything against Rowena or anything else, but I believe that it makes sense to back the candidate that has the best chance of winning.
Thank you. This will be an against on microphone 1, and that will be 3 against, and we would have to extend debate after this. Speaking against on microphone 1.
I'm actually, I actually asked that we have an opportunity to postpone it, not speaking against Teresa, not asking you not to endorse anyone, but I'm simply saying to have an opportunity to hear both of us to speak. That's pretty much why I got up what the last person said. I actually agree with her. I'm just simply saying before we make an endorsement right now, let's simply have an opportunity to hear from everyone, to have an opportunity to listen and to really make an informed, deliberate decision.
Okay, I have a point of information. I can take a point of information. We've had 3 for, 3 against. After this, we'll have to either have a motion to extend debate or a different motion. Go.
Sharon Flynn, Mount Rainier Elementary. I wonder if there is an advantage to endorsing now rather than waiting until we can hear the candidates both speak for themselves.
The advantage would be to the person endorsed in terms of campaigning, being able to place it. Okay.
I wanted to move to extend debate.
Give me specifics.
2 minutes.
Number of speakers.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. There's a motion to extend debate. Has it been seconded?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to extend debate to 3 speakers. All in favor of extending the debate for 3 speakers, say aye. All opposed? There's a couple no's out there. Okay. What are you coming up with here? I have a point of information.
Just a quick clarification.
I need a question on a point of information.
Yes, I'm sorry. You stated that we would have to postpone to January. When is the actual election date?
The month of February is the MSEA elections. Traditionally, our speeches for candidates have been in January. We extended debate. I don't have anybody with a card in their hand. What do you got?
I want to make a motion.
Make your motion.
I make a motion that we postpone the endorsing of Teresa Dudley until later decision, so that we can hear both candidates speak.
Okay, it's been moved and
Second by Norman White.
Seconded by Norman White. It's been. It would be this would be an alternative motion. She's postponing. Okay, moved and seconded that we postpone. Speak to your motion, please.
The reason why I say that is because of the fact that I understand that we don't want to split the votes, and that's the number one thing for us. And we keep saying it's the reasons for people staying behind Teresa Dudley, as great as she is that the experience. But some of us don't know the experience that the other candidate, Rowena Shern, has. And that would give the time for us to give our member body information about that candidate and allow the rest of the body to really make an informed decision when we stand out, so we will not split the vote. I just feel like when we stand out here voting just because of a name.
So the motion we have before us is a motion to postpone. Speaking against the motion to postpone on number 2.
Yvonne Dysich, Board of Directors. As I look around the room, I see people here who have been around for quite a while. And frankly, if you come to these meetings and if you've been around our organization, you pretty much know what we stand for. Because Teresa and Rowena do not keep their mouths closed when it comes to their opinions. And we know what they stand for. And I love Rowena. I hope she does run. But if we do this, first of all, postponing means that the candidates can't go out for an entire month until the end of November.
2 months.
2 months, actually.
Speeches are in January.
Right, speeches are in January, well, for us. But then around the state, you can already go around and make speeches to their locals. And if you go there and you say to them, well, my local has not made a decision yet, that's not going to look too good. So the person who runs needs to go out full force with our backing. If we want to get somebody elected, this is the way to do it. Not to sit around and muddle through. Let's do it for real this time.
Microphone, we're coming up close to time on topic, even with the extension. So, point of information on one.
Yep, Anthony Hart. Is it possible to have the speeches in November?
Traditionally, our speeches have been in January. I don't think there's a prohibition against homegrown speakers going in November. I don't think there's a prohibition. I'd have to look at documents before I said that. Okay. Microphone one, point of information.
Point of information, is it possible to hear both candidates today in order to give them enough chance to campaign?
I don't think that would be fair to both candidates not having time to prep a speech. If we were to do it, I would rather do it in November when they've had time to prepare a speech and come before us.
Okay, November then.
Do I sense a will from the body that our homegrown candidates should speak at the November Rep Council? All in favor of our homegrown candidates speaking at the November Rep Council prior to our vote? This is a vote to postpone. Thank you. All opposed? Okay, homegrown candidates, come on November ready to speak.
Point of personal privilege, please.
Yes.
Robin McNair, Board of Directors. I just wanted to make a comment because my spirit felt really tough in the back because I felt like it was a me against them or us against them or whatever. But people, it's about equity. If you think about what you do in your classroom to make sure every child is not slighted, that's all that was. That's what it sounded like to me. Because someone knew that someone else was running. And you don't have to announce your candidacy until November 21st if you don't want to. And this person, I don't think, wanted to announce her candidacy yet. But someone knew that they were running. So they came up to try to stop because they wanted to make sure everyone knew who was running and so you could make an informed decision. That's what it sounded like to me. And I just really want everyone to know that it's not to be decisive. It's not to divide Prince George's County, but it sounded like equity. That's all it sounded like to me. And I just wanted to make that point of privilege.
Thank you. Okay. So we voted to postpone the candidates to speak at the November meeting. We'll make a decision at that time. Treasurer report, do you have anything for us? For the NECC spot. And kudos to Herbert Bridges, who listened the other night and went back and signed up 6 members of his school. He's real close to 100% school now in membership. That's another one of my little goals before I leave here in July. I'd like to get us to 90% membership, get us up from 85 to 90. Okay, it's a modest goal, but I think we should be able to do that between now and July. And Samantha Robinson, who left here after the training the other night and came back with 3 new members. Woo-hoo! Keep it up. There's always a couple out there. Go get them. Peer assistance and review. They're looking a little worse for wear today. Our CTs took their first day of testing for certification under the framework for teaching Danielson, the real certification process. And you got that exam look about you. The CTs are going to be fully certified in FFT, unlike many of the administrators who are out there. So I'm real proud of them, and they're happy, and they've got one more day to go. I'm going to try and get them home before too late. As we go forward, the response has been a little underwhelming in terms of teachers being referred by principals to our program. dozen as of last week. And so what we're doing is we're looking at second-year teachers and third-year teachers that had performance issues. We want to get it up to where we have at least 10 to 14 client teachers for each CT. And we're going to cap it at some point. And I'm going to need you to be aware as we go forward. I'm pushing a little bit to make building reps part of this process. If you have someone who comes and says to you, my principal's out to get me, okay, we would probably like you to start referring those names to us if you feel like someone might be getting the bad end of the deal, and perhaps we can find an alternative way of referring people who are struggling a little bit in the classroom into the PAR program. So we're working on that, where the advisory panel is having talks about that process and what it's going to look like, but having some method for a teacher who senses that they're struggling in the classroom, perhaps being able to self-refer through the building rep, and there will be more on that going forward. There's no business, you can just ask your question.
I know I have a point of personal privilege I want to ask.
Okay.
In regards to PAR, I think one of the biggest messages that we all have to make sure we understand is that we are being certified, but not only certification, we're being trained, thoroughly trained. So there are questions and things about F-15. We know it's been around for a while, but for some buildings, it hasn't been implemented with fidelity. And so what happens now is that Tawana and I, being on the part of the team, we're being thoroughly trained so that if someone comes up to us, we can actually get the information to you and it'll actually be accurate, correct, and reflect the work that we do. So make sure when you go back and tell them, this is not an I gotcha, they're here to support because they've been actually trained by the experts outside of PGCPS. And we do it with fidelity, and we're going to be deliberate with it. So that's what I want to make sure that the message is that we're coming to support, not to take away, but to actually support.
Thank you. The words that I keep coming back to for folks is that the name of the program is Peer Assistance and Review. Review is the afterthought there. This is about walking in and helping teachers, especially novices who might struggle a little bit, and getting them the concentrated help that they need on a weekly basis instead of a couple times a year somebody comes in with an adversarial observation. This is about getting assistance to people that need it when they come to the profession. The review is down the pike. That's a ways down the road. And it's an afterthought. The assistance is what we're about. And the CTs have nothing to do with the review process. The review is a panel that is composed of teachers and administrators alike that will make recommendations. The CTs don't make any evaluative efforts whatsoever. They're there to give the help and tell the PAR panel what help they gave. Okay, and then the PAR panel makes that decision later on. So we had a little settee with the Gazette the other day because their first sentence, they said, in the cooperating teachers will be evaluating, and they're not evaluating. They're there for assistance. Okay, so they corrected it to their credit. That's Peer Assistance and Review. It is coming. They're going to be in the classrooms on the 12th of November, right?